Now today we will discuss what is surface finish and how to measure the surface finish. But before going to that, we will discuss what are the industrial requirements for the surface finish, then what are the factors that affect the surface finish, that we will discuss in a very brief. Okay, so the properties such as appearance, then corrosion resistance, wear resistance, then fatigue resistance, lubrication, then the tolerances, then ability to hold pressure, all these properties are influenced by the surface finish. Okay, and we can call this surface finish as surface texture also. Okay, in other words, we can improve the surface finish, or we can improve the appearance, then corrosion resistance, then wear resistance. Okay, all these properties can be improved by the surface finish. Okay, then the basic industrial requirements with surface finish or regarding surface finish are the low manufacturing cost. Okay, the cost of the product that we are manufacturing should have very low cost, and we should get the better surface finish. Okay, then better properties, good appearance, then quality of the component or a product. Okay, and satisfactory performance. The last is the satisfactory performance. All these requirements can be fulfilled by the industrial product. Okay, so to get these factors, or the factors that will affect these requirements, are the material of the workpiece, then type of machining process, what machining process we are undergoing through. Okay, then vibrations of machine components. Okay, then cutting tool properties are there, and cutting conditions are there, and the last, the coolant that we are using. Okay, all these parameters will affect the requirement or industrial requirement of the product. Okay, so these requirements can be improved with the help of, or with the some factors, that those factors are these: the material of workpiece, then type of machining process, vibrations, etc. Okay, we can improve the surface finish with the factors that I have mentioned earlier. Okay, then surface texture, it is defined as the degree of the degree of finish conveyed by the machinist by a system of symbols devised by the standards association. Okay, we need the products that look very attractive. Okay, when the customer will look at our products, so at a glance the customer have to, or the customer must get attracted towards the product. Okay, then and then only we can sell our products in the market. Okay, so surface finish or surface texture is one of the important characteristics of a product. Okay, then the standard associations are there. For example, American Standard Association is there, and British standards are there. Okay, these standards will convey, or there are some symbols, these systems, the standards associations will have some symbolic language. Okay, with that language we can convey what kind of surface finish that we want on a surface or on a metal plate. Okay, for example, consider we want to manufacture a bike. Okay, so the handle of the bike is made up of stainless steel, and the surface finish of the handle of the bike, you can see the handle is very much lustrous. Okay, If the handles, or if the handle of the vehicle, if it is not as attractive as we have at our vehicles, then what will happen? The customer will say that I am paying such cost and I am not getting whatever the results that I want. Okay, the bike or the vehicle, that must look attractive. Okay, then engine part is there. Okay, the parts, those are exposed, uh, those parts have to be very much attractive. Okay, the parts, those are covered with some plates or with some fiber bodies, that that doesn't matter if the inner part is attractive or it is not that much attractive. Okay, that doesn't matter, but the parts, those are exposed, those parts must have better surface finish and must have to be, or we can say it has to be very much attractive. Okay, so you can see on the screen, so the part or the defects that are shown on the a small workpiece, and the workpiece is magnified. Okay, if we zoom some portion, then we can see such types of defects. Okay, so these are the surface texture terms. Okay, so what is the lay direction, that is, then what is the flaw, then how much is the waveness height. Okay, how much is the waveness width. Okay, rough height, all these parameters we must know. Okay, and we will discuss these parameters one by one. So basically you can see the flaw is something that you can see over here. Okay, it is the part, or you can see, or you can say it is something that when we do casting. Okay, so because of some during casting, what do we do? So we melt the metal and we pour that molten metal into some cavity. Okay, and because of that, what will happen? Whatever the cavity, whatever the shape of the cavity will have, the same shape the molten metal will get, and then we freeze that molten metal and we get the exact replica of the cavity in the form of the metal. Okay, so the flaw is nothing but it could be an air bubble, or it could be some impurities inside the casting. Okay, then this lay direction is that we see when we cut some wood or when we cut some metal piece, then we can see this lay direction is there. Okay, then this waviness height is there, then roughness height is also mentioned there. Okay, so the part, you can see it has some waves on it. Okay, so the roughness of the part, that we must measure, and depending upon this roughness we can say that if the part is having the proper surface finish or it is having the surface finish that we don't want. Okay, then these are some defects, common defects that we can observe on the metal surface. Okay, so this is over here, you can see cracking is there. Okay, some cracks are there, then scratches are there. So this is one of the scratches, then cracks are there. Okay, so this is the surface of metal having cracks. The dark portions are nothing but the cracks. Over here you can see, so these are the cracks. Okay, and the bright material is the proper surface finish that we want. Okay, so these cracks, then these scratches can be withdrawn, or those scratches and cracks can be removed with the help of machining process. Okay, then these are the inclusions. Inclusions means, suppose a metal is there and because of some impurity, if another metal or non-metal is getting added into this uh, structure of metal or the structure of the atoms, then we get such kinds of inclusions in the uh, metal surface or on the metal surface. Okay, then these are the rolled parts are there, then these are some patches. Okay, and this is the pitting phenomenon. Pitting is nothing but small pores will be there, and because of that the surface will become rough. Okay, so these pores are similar to the pores of a sponge. Okay, so these are the types of defects that we can see or that are common on the metal surface. Okay, now one by one we will discuss what are these defects and how to define them. Okay, so first definition is flaws. So flaws or defects are the random irregularities such as scratches are there, then cracks are there, holes, depressions, seams, okay, tears and inclusions. Okay, so these are some types of defects that we can see, and all these defects come under the flaws. Okay, these defects can be caused during the machining or production process such as molding, drawing, forging or machining. Okay, all these defects are possible because of the machining or because of the production process. Okay, then for the example we can consider the holes caused by the air bubbles during the casting. Okay, then cracks and tears by forging and drawing processes. Okay, the holes can be there because of the air bubbles in the casting, and cracks and tears are because of the forging process or drawing process. Okay, so these are the flaws that we can observe or that we can see on the metal surface. Then next, so these are some types of flaws. So there are some cracks over here you can see. So this is the crack on the metal surface, and the white color is nothing but the scale. Over here and here you can see the scale is there, and to measure how much is the crack, that we use these scales. Okay, then some imprints are there, you can see the dots are there, bright colored dots are there. Okay, then side wall wrinkles are there. So these are the wrinkles portions, because of that the surface finish of the product or surface finish of the metal is not as good as we want. Okay, then some necking phenomenon is there. Okay, then the marking lines are there because of the machining process. What happens when we do some markings, so because of those markings some surface roughness that can cause, okay, or fall in. Okay, so these are the types of defects or types of flaws that can be seen on the workpiece. Then second type of defect is lay. Generally lay is also known as, or it is also called as, directionality. Okay, so lay is the direction of the predominant surface pattern caused by the machining process, and it is usually visible to the naked eyes. Okay, with the help of our naked eyes we can see these types of defects, and these defects or the lay is formed because of the machining process. Okay, on the wood surface you can see when we cut a tree or when we cut some wood, okay, then what happens, so there are some lines that are caused because of the saw, okay, or because of the blade, cutting blade of the machine. Okay, so that pattern of the machining process or the direction of machining process, that can cause this defect, and this defect is known as lay. Okay, so there are some symbols. Using these symbols the designers, they can suggest the machinist to finish the product. Okay, so this first symbol for lay is parallel. Okay, so here is the meaning of this symbol, and here is the example showing the direction of the tool marks. Okay, how to mark this tool. Okay, when we want the lay approximately parallel to the line of representing the surface to which the symbol is applied, then we will draw this symbol on the surface so that the machinist will do this type of machining. Okay, then second symbol is the lay approximately perpendicular to the line representing the surface to which the symbol is applied. Okay, so this is the symbol in order to indicate the lay perpendicular or perpendicular lay. Okay, then these are the different symbols you can see over here. So one of the common symbols is this. So this C is the symbol for lay, symbol C. It represents, or the meaning of this symbol is lay approximately circular relative to the center line of the surface to which the symbol is applied. Okay, and in order to represent or indicate this type of machining process, we use this symbol. Okay, so there is one sign like this, and under that sign we can write the alphabet C. Okay, so these are the different symbols that the machinist that the designer use in order to get the final finished product from the machinist. Okay, so this symbol, when the machinist see this symbol, so it will machine the product with this pattern. Okay, or with this direction of lay. Okay, then these are the some types of lay patterns. Okay, when the vertical lays are, or when the vertical directionality is performed, so the workpiece that we can see will look like this. Okay, then the second part is horizontal lay. So after getting the surface finish, we can get the horizontal lines. Then cross hatched lays are there, so this is the example for that. Okay, then this is the radial lay pattern, this is the circular lay pattern, and this is isotropic lay pattern. Okay, so these are the lay patterns to get the surface finish. Okay, then next slides is about the types of defects found on the surface of a metal. Okay, so the next type of defect is the roughness. So roughness is defined as the closely spaced irregular division on a scale smaller than that of the waviness. Okay, and it is caused by the cutting tool or the abrasive gain action and the machine feed. Okay, so the roughness that we many times we have seen this roughness pattern, and it is caused because of the cutting tool or abrasive grain action and the machine feed. Okay, so the roughness height and roughness width are the two extra dimensions that we can see on the workpiece. So the roughness height, it is the deviation of the center line in the micro inches or micrometers, and roughness width, so it is the distance between successive roughness peaks parallel to the nominal surface in inches or millimeters. Okay, we will see these two, roughness height and roughness width, in the upcoming slides. So this is the roughness pattern. So these are the roughness patterns. So in this you can see the roughness is straight. In this the workpiece is different, or roughness pattern is different. Again, this is the curvy roughness pattern is there. Okay, so all these are the roughness patterns that we see on the metal surface. Okay, after machining process we can see these types of roughness patterns. In order to remove these roughness patterns, we must machine the product or workpiece with a very precise instrument or with a very precise dimensions, and with the help of a very good quality tool and with a good quality of coolant, we can get the better surface finish than these mentioned on the screen. Okay, then next type of defect is waviness. So it is the recurrent deviation from the flat surface, much like waves on the surface of water. It is measured and described in terms of surface between the adjacent crests of the wave and height between the crests and valleys of the wave. Okay, so this waviness is nothing but like this. Okay, waves on the water are like this. Okay, so such types of waviness we can observe on the metal surface. What are the causes of this waviness? So defects in tool, then dies or work pieces, then force and temperature sufficient to cause wrapping, okay, uneven lubrication, vibration, any periodic mechanical and thermal vibrations on the system during the manufacturing operation. So because of that, we can see the waviness on the workpiece. Okay, so over here you can see, so this is the waviness. So roughness over here, it is different roughness. So the wave is little bit downward in this portion, and again the wave is raised. Okay, so this is the waviness pattern. Then this is the waviness height in micro inches. You can see the distance from crest and depth, okay, or peak and valley, the distance between these two is nothing but the roughness height, and the roughness width is nothing but the successive distance between the two peaks. Okay, so it is known as the roughness width, the peaks of the two waves. Okay, suppose this is one wave and this is second wave, so the distance between these two peaks, okay, so it is called the roughness width, and the distance between these two, the crest and or the peak and the valley, so this distance is nothing but we refer it as the roughness height. Okay, then this is the lay direction. The workpiece and the tool on the workpiece has moved in this direction. Okay, either the workpiece is fixed or either the tool is fixed. Okay, and the workpiece is rotating. There are two conditions in order to cut the workpiece. Okay, either the workpiece remains fixed or the tool remains fixed. Okay, and vice versa, other part of the work, if the workpiece is fixed, then tool is rotating or tool is moving, or suppose the tool is fixed, then workpiece has to be rotating. Okay, or workpiece has to be moving. So this is the direction of surface finish pattern, and this is the waviness height. Okay, the complete height is nothing but the waviness height. This is the roughness height and this is waviness height. Okay, so this is the difference between our waviness patterns. Okay, then we will move towards our next slide. So the how to measure this surface finish. So there are three to four types of devices in order to measure this surface finish. So first type is stylus probe, then profilometer is there, then Tomlinson's surface meter is there, and Taylor-Hobson telesurf is there. Okay, these four types of instruments are used to measure the surface finish, but out of this only three types of surface finish instruments that we can, or surface finish measuring instruments that we will study in the upcoming videos. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned with me in order to understand what is the stylus probe, then what is the telesurf surface, Tomlinson surface meter, and the telesurf. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any doubts, then let me know into the comment box, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends. Thank you very much.